Back to the Venom Workshop. So today what we're going to be doing is, remember this red bike, guys? This is our red X22R. One of the guys here actually rides this bike all summer. So it came back. It has 500 miles on it. So it's time for its first real tune-up. So we're going to go through everything to check. We're going to do an oil change. We're going to change the spark plug. We're going to check the chain tension, check tire pressure, all this stuff. We want to make sure that it's ready to get out and roll again. It's got 500 miles, so this is the great time to do its first maintenance. And we're going to go over everything. We're going to look at every little thing that we can to make sure that this bike is ready to ride again for a season. So, or until the next oil change. So I'm going to get some tools together and we're going to get started. Okay, so one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to change the fuel filter. So I just got a new fuel filter. You can buy these anywhere. You can get them on Amazon. Any motorsports place you can buy it. It's just like I said, it's just a fuel filter. And there's a directional arrow on this fuel filter too. So you always look for the directional arrows for the flow. So the gas flow is gonna go from the tank then to the carburetor, because of the flow arrow. That's the way we're gonna put it in. So first things first, we gotta get the old one off. And it's gonna be on the left-hand side of the bike. See it right here? And it's dirty. I can see it's dirty. It's got some gunk probably built up in it too. So all you have to do, here's your fuel valve right here, or your fuel pepcock right there. Turn it to the side like that. That'll flip the fuel off, and then we can take it off. Now I'm just gonna take this off with my fingers. There we go. And there we go. And like I said, we'll go with the flow. That. It's the drain hose off the carb. And there it is. And once it's back on, we can flip our gas back on. Oh, there's very little gas in this thing, I guess. So I'm gonna open the tank top. Let's see why there's no gas flowing here. There's gas in the bike. That's weird. Let's see why it's not flowing through the filter here. Probably an air pocket. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So we're going to go ahead and let that run through there. Just let some air out of this line. There we go. Now we can put it back on. And it's starting to fill up now. Just had a little bit of air in the line. So it'll fill up now. There we go. There we go, it's filling up. So that's good. So now that's changed. Now this old one right here, we're just gonna toss it out. It's pretty cruddy. It's pretty gross. So we'll just toss that one in the garbage. And then we're gonna get our drain plug off for our oil. And we're gonna drain the oil out. So I'm gonna get my tools ready, and I'm gonna get my tray so that oil can pour into it. And we're gonna stay on this side of the bike. Don't mind the gas just spilling on the floor, and dry up soon. So the plug is right here. So I'm gonna get my ratchet there, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take it off. I'm pretty sure it's a 22, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get that, and let's get that off and drain the oil out of this, and we'll go ahead and we'll change the oil. So now I got just a jug like that. I've just cut the side out of it, so I can slide it underneath there like that and catch the oil. Now, if you don't have, it's actually a 24 mil. If you don't have a 24 mil, that's fine. What you're gonna wanna do is just use a 15/16. It's the same thing. So we'll get that underneath there. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I get that ratchet over there. I should be able to take that out with my fingers. There we go. Now in behind here, there's going to be a spring. So watch this cap when you're unloosening it. When you get out of the threads, it didn't bounce off at you. And there's going to be a screen in there that we're going to take out and clean. And I'll show you how to do that. There we go. So that's the old oil coming out of it. Make sure to have an oil rag handy, but that's just how I roll. So let's get the cap out. And if you do that, and in the cap, and you get a bit of oil in your fairing, we'll wipe that out too. Now I'm gonna let that drain, and then I'll pull the screen out. Right now I'm gonna go wipe the oil off my hands because I'm an idiot and didn't bring a rag with me, so I'll be right back. So now, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just reach in and I'm gonna grab that screen. I'm not gonna be rough when I pull it out. Just give a little pull out here. Hey, come here, you. There we go. That's the screen I'm talking about right here. And it's a catch. It'll catch all that stuff from running back up into your oil. So we're gonna give it a wipe out too. And you don't need to change it. It's washable, so we're just gonna wash it out. I'm gonna actually use a little bit of gas to wash mine out. But I'm gonna wait till the oil all drains out of this nice. The oil's pretty dark, I'm seeing, so it was a good time for an oil change. And when you have your bike and you're doing maintenance like this, when you see like dirt on the engine and stuff or on the frame, that was a good time. Once the oil all drains out of here, I'm also gonna wipe the frame. I just like to make sure everything's nice and clean. Because when you go meet your buddies at the restaurant, you're all sitting there with your bikes, you want your bike to look nice. It's the perfect time to get to these lower sections and doing a quick wipe. There we go. Nice. That's the stuff. So again, I'm going to wipe the frame once that's done draining. So I'm going to let this all drain out, and we'll return shortly. Alrighty, so this is all the oil's drained out of this now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the oil plug back in so that I can put some oil back in it. And then once the oil's back in it, we'll move on to the next thing. I'm going to want to tighten the chain on it. I noticed the chain's loose, so we're going to do that. Then we're going to pop the spark plug out. We're going to change that. And then it should be good to go again. So let's put the plug back in. So when you put this plug back in, what you're going to be doing is this is going to go like that, and then this goes like that. So that's the way it goes in, just in case you guys don't see very well when I'm putting it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my spring. Oops. There's my filter. Okay, now I can get my cap. And I just shove it in, and we'll start we'll start tightening it in. Oops. There you. All right. Now I'm going to give this freaking a wipe, get the oil off it. I'll get that pan out from the oil. We'll take a look at that oil in a minute. I'll tighten that up as tight as I can with my fingers. There we go. Gonna give that a wipe off. That's another thing. Give everything a good wipe off after. Like frame everything. There we go. And now I can get my ratchet in there. And we'll tighten it up. So we're just gonna snug it. There we go. It doesn't have to be overbearingly tight in there. You just want it snug so the oil doesn't leak and it doesn't leak out. It does have a rubber seal on it. So when you do tighten it up, what'll happen is if you over tighten it, and when that rubber gets hard, it'll be almost impossible to remove, and then you're gonna just end up stripping it. So you just wanna make sure that it's tight, and that's it. Now, we're gonna look at our oil that we pulled out from the bike. And you're gonna see, so this is what happens when oil breaks down. It turns black like this. So it was a very good time for an oil change. Right now it's very, very thin. I can smell, it's not burnt. I've smelled a lot worse burnt oil than that, especially out of a blown up engine. But this isn't too bad. It's normal wear. It's normal the way it's supposed to go. So next I'm gonna get my oil, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fill this up with oil, and then we'll, like I said, we'll get on to the next side. So I'm gonna get my camera in position on the other side. Now, your oil here, don't just throw that in the garbage or pour that on the ground or anything like that. You can't do that. It'll just contaminate the soil. And so get rid of it responsibly. I grew up on a farm, so we use a lot of oil like this for when we're putting away equipment for the year. We'll douse it in oil like this so it doesn't rust. But or if you know somebody who has a diesel, you can always use this for biodiesel. Old oil like this works great for that. So but do be responsible. Don't just go dumping this on the ground or down some drain or anything. You don't do that with oil. Get rid of it responsibly. So I'm going to, like I said, get my oil and my funnel, and we'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna put my camera in that thing here, and then we're gonna measure out the oil. So we're gonna put 900 milliliters in here. So not quite a quart. And then we'll check the oil. And you're going to be using 10 W40 motorcycle oil, and it's for a wet clutch. So if it says wet clutch on the bottle, you got the right one. Okay, I got my 900 mils in my funnel here. I like this funnel right here because I can measure it what I need to measure it, and then there's a little valve right here that when I turn it, it lets the oil run through. So the oil's running in there now. So we'll put all that brand new oil in there. So we've almost got it all the way in here. A little bit more, and then there, that's it. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that run in for a few minutes just to empty that out. You guys don't have to watch that. It's just there's a lot of left in the actual tube. I want that all to roll out. Go ahead and put my dipstick back in, and then I'm gonna... Oh, these guys. Okay, so now that my plug's back in, I'm just gonna tighten it back in. I'm not gonna check my oil yet. I want to start the bike first. I want to start the bike. I'm gonna rev it up to 3,000 RPM, and then I'm gonna do that for about 5-10 seconds, and then I'm gonna go over and beat somebody with the hammer. No, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna get the bike revving up to 3,000 RPM, and then I'm gonna shut it off. I'm gonna let it go at that for about 5-10 seconds. I just want to get the oil pumping up, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come back down. I'm gonna check my oil. So let's fire it up. There's no gas in the carburetor, so I'm going to use my choke. The gas going. So there's no gas going to the bike, so I'm going to check that out. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm just a complete moron. Okay, let's try that again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand the bike up, and I'm going to check my oil level. Always check your oil level when the bike is standing up. That's when it gets a true measurement. So just stand it up like this so it's exactly straight, the way you would be riding. I'm going to pull my dipstick out. I'll set the bike back down, and look at that. It's right on the money. So I'll give that a wipe. And we'll give it a dip again, and it's going to be perfect. I know because I put the exact manufacturer's recommended oil level, so take it out. And I'm actually maybe a little low. But you know why I'm a little low? It's because the bike's not standing up straight. So now I'll stand the bike up straight. Let's try that again. And now it's almost perfect. I'm going to put a little bit more in. I must have put just a little less than 900 mils in there, and we'll be perfect. So like I said, it's 900 milliliters to go in there, not a full quart, just 900. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put a tiny bit more in, and I mean that's it. And then we're gonna move on to the spark plug. Alrighty, so we come down here. We're gonna pop off our spark plug wire, and you're gonna need an 8 mil or an 8 mil socket. Take that out, and let's. Oh, there we go. Just be careful, don't hit the fairing like I just did. I just tapped it, but still. On you. Oh, my fingers are so full of oil. Coax it out a little bit more with the socket. It's a little easier to grab. There we go. There we are. There we go. And let's have a look at the spark plug. So it's actually, wow, it's not that bad. Oh, it smells good. So sweet. Okay, so that's not that bad a spark plug. I would prefer, instead of this Torch D8TC, an NGK plug. I'm gonna look around to see if I have any NGK plugs, but I do want to replace this plug, so I'm gonna take a look around and see what I have. So I did end up having an NGK plug, so I'm gonna toss it in here now. And there's two things. You don't always have to change your plug. Oops, open the camera. You don't always have to change your spark plug, but I prefer to. But you could always take it off and clean it. As long as it has good spark, you're good to go. Two-stroke engines are more notorious for burning through spark plugs, but don't kid yourself, it does happen. You can burn through a spark plug pretty fast. So I'm just going to snug this up. And you don't want it, like I said, so tight that you snap it in there, but just make sure it's snug, just like that. Put our wire back on. And then we're going to try and fire it right up, make sure everything's okay there too. Oh, it fired right away. So that's done now. So, like I said, we've done all this stuff. So I'm going to get ready on the other side, and we're going to get ready to tighten up the chain. Okay, so I just want to get down here without the tripod first, and look at our chain. So as you ride, especially with a brand new chain, your chain is going to stretch. So you'll see that this chain has got some play in it. It's not much play, but we're going to want to take that out. We don't want it flopping around like that. It'll start jumping on the sprocket if we let that happen. It's still got good oil on it. It's really sticky. It's got good chain butter on it still. But what we're going to do is we're going to tighten up this chain. And to do that, we're going to need to loosen off the axle. We're going to loosen off on the other side, obviously. So you're going to need a 17 mil wrench for here, a 19 mil socket for the other side, and a 13 mil wrench to loosen these nuts. So let's get started doing that right away. So first off, we're going to take our 19, make sure it's on loosen, put it there, and then we're going to hold the other side with our 17. Yeah. And then we're just going to loosen this off. We're not going to take the nut right off, we're just going to loosen it. That's pretty good right there. That should be able to move it. Now we're going to need our 13 mil wrench. And your 13 mil wrench is to loosen the first nut off of here. Just the one. And then the same on the other side. You want to loosen off just one. Okay. Now we're going to start tightening these up. So we're going to come to our right side first, or sorry, our left side. Now, the more we tighten this, the more this is going to move. And this chain is not that loose, so we won't have to turn many turns. So we're going to get in there, and it's already feeling a lot tighter. So I'm going to actually back that off a bit, because it's too much. So let's, yeah. So I want about that much, about half to quarter-inch play, and that's it. So that's perfect. So now I'm gonna have to do the exact same thing on the other side. If you follow the hashtag marks on this though, that works too. So I'll right away, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this nut against the other one so it doesn't move, just like that. We're gonna go to our other side. And we're way off. So if I look here and then I look at my other side, back here, I have 1, 2, 3 lines, and I'm about halfway on to the fourth line. So again, I'm going to need 1, to, so that it's this that's been causing the issue. So we might have to actually loosen up our other side once I start tightening this one, because it may make the chain way too tight. So like I said, one. And if this is not the same as the other side, yeah, that's way too tight. So we're gonna have to loosen up that side. So this one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to 3. So that I'm at the 3rd line. And that should make it come back perfect. And I'm going to go to the other side here, and I'm going to loosen off some pressure. If I don't, it's going to snap that chain. So I'm going to tap this one on this side. I'm going to tap it forward a little bit with my mallet. Somebody took my mallet, so I'm just going to use a piece of wood and my hammer. I'm going to tap it again, like I said, forward a bit. And then we'll check our chain again. Our chain is actually pretty good right there. So now I can come back to this side. Check something on this side too. I see. So my leveler on this side is backwards. It's flipped around. This is supposed to be facing over this way. So I'm going to fix that right now. I don't know how that set up like that. It hadn't been done from the factory like that. Let's fix it. So this gauge right here is supposed to be the other way. I'm going to mess that up. So that should be facing that way, like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. And it's actually supposed to go way farther up. So let's get this done right. There we go. Now it's right. So it's supposed to actually be right up here. So let's loosen that up again. Oh. Don't hit your thumb with that. Woo! That stings. So we're just going to knock this up. I'm glad I got to see this, because that is supposed to be adjusted right to there, just like that. See how that's sitting there? That's the way it's supposed to be on both sides. Okay, so now we can tighten up our adjuster again. And right now, believe it or not, both sides are actually pretty equal, but our chain is way too tight, or way too loose. So I'm going to start by doing this side first. Okay. Now, if I look here, see my hash marks, 1, 2, 3, and I'm almost at 4. And on this side, I'm at 1, 2, 3, and almost at 4. So we're almost exactly where we want to be. I just want to check my chain tension. Oh, it's still way too loose. So I'm going to go all the way to the 4th one. Alrighty. So I'm going to tighten that one up again in a bit. Just want to knock that plate forward on this side. Perfect. That's where that's supposed to be. So let's give it one more tighten. Whoa, that's way too much. A little bit loosening that. Still a little bit too tight. That's not bad. So I'm going to lock it in here. And 1, 2, 3 lines, and just a little over the 4th line. So that's what I'm going to do on this side. So just a little bit more, like that, and then a little bit over the 4th, and that's it. So now I can tighten this on. This now, I'm going to loosen the nut off. Get off. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten up my axle. And then once my axle is completely tight, I can tighten up those last 2 nuts. There we go. Okay, now we can tighten up this. Oops. There we go. And do the same on the other side. And that's it. That's how you tighten the chain. So the chain's tight. We've done an oil change. We've done a spark plug change. We've done a fuel filter change. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to check the air filter. So to check the air filter, we have to take off this fairing right here. So as soon as I get a chance, we'll pull back to that. We're going to get that fairing off, and we're going to look at the air filter. Alrighty. So to get to the air filter is directly behind here. So we're going to take the seat off. Then we're going to take this fairing off, and right behind we're going to pull out the air filter, and we're going to clean it up. Now the great thing about these bikes is all the filters except for the fuel filter are washable, and you don't have to replace them. We just have to clean them. So the oil filter, you noticed I cleaned that yesterday. I just gave it a wipe out. The fuel filter I obviously changed. That's the only filter that you really have to change on this bike. And the air filter is the same. It's washable, so we can take it out and we can wash it. So let's go ahead and get our seat off. Now on this bike, actually I'm going to pull out a different bike. This bike's a little bit different. It's got the Nibby upgrade on it, and I've removed the airbox out of it. So we're kind of barking up the wrong tree here. So this one, like I said, has the Nibby upgrade. If you have the Nibby upgrade on it, the filter is right on the back of the carb. You'll see the filter right there, right here. But I'm going to go to the other X22R, so we can. It's a stock filter on that one, and the battery's already out of it too, so we can get to the air filter very, very well. So we'll go over to this one. Luckily, I think I already have the seat off. No, I don't. Go. There we are. Okay. So now we can get to the gearbox on this one. And like I said, if you had the Nibby, you can just change the air filter, because the Nibby air filter is literally like 20 bucks. You can buy it. You could blow it out too with a compressor if you wanted. I'm going to have to go and get my Phillips screwdriver. I think one of the parts guys stole it on me. But I will be right back. Okay, I pulled this bike out just so we can get to it a little bit easier. So, let's take out the Phillips screw here. give me another Phillips screw here. And of course, I took out that Allen key and I put it down someplace. Yay, I found it. Okay. And this is a number 4 Allen key. There we go. Oh, I'm an idiot. My bad. Okay, so we took off the wrong one. Okay, so some bikes it's on this side, and apparently on the X22R, it's on the other side. So we're going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to get my camera set up over there and I'll be right back. All right. So that one behind there, there's just a C-clip, so you don't have to worry, but there's no nuts behind that one. So we're just going to take out the rest of these screws. Go. All right, now we're just going to pull off this fairing like this, and there we go. And that's our air filter right here. So we just have to go around with our Phillips screwdriver and take all the caps off of here. Slide back down there a little bit. There we go. And there is nuts on the back of these. You only have to hold the bottom ones. The top ones usually stay in place. They just go on the back of this right here, like this. And that little nut usually stays in there. I'll grab that in a sec. Okay, just like that. Okay, and now we can pull the cover off like that. And there's our air filter. Now that air filter can be taken off and blown out and then cleaned. You can buy cleaner for this. Seafoam really works really well to clean this too. This filter is brand new. I don't have to clean anything. But you're going to want to check this and clean it. Once you've blown it all out, like I said, there is filter cleaner you can buy. Like I said, Seafoam. I really like using Seafoam. Let it dry out really nice, and then you can go ahead and put it back on. And that's about it. So, like I said, it's a very easy filter to clean. If you do need a replacement, you can find them on Amazon. You just have to take it out, get the dimensions of it, and then you can just buy it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if you do want to replace this filter, you can. I'm going to put a link to this in the description of the video. So when you get the video, if you look in the description of the video, I'll have this link in there for you. And it's from VMC. Very good parts place to get parts. So yeah, definitely I'll have the link for you too. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put it back in. It just slips on like this, just like that, and then flips over, and that's how it's installed. So go ahead, we'll put that back in place, just like that, and then I'll get my screws. And when you put these screws in, don't push in on them. Because if you push in, you're just gonna push the nut all the way through, so just, whoa. So when you put it on, get it into place, like that. Just thread it into that nut real slow so it stays in place. There we go. I'm just gonna hold that nut down there with my fingers so it doesn't come popping over there. Nope. There we go. And once we get this filter in, we're pretty well at the end of our video. We've done everything we need to do. I'm also going to do the same sort of same sort of video for the Max, the X22R Max, because it's a little different when we get to the 500 mile mark on that, and what the things we're going to do. Because it's a fuel injected bike, it's a little bit different. This one's nice. It's naturally aspirated, so no fuel injection here. Naturally aspirated. Yeah, they're all naturally aspirated. No turbos here either. Turbo would be nice actually on one of these. I would love to do a video on that. Because I could definitely turbo a bike if I wanted to. Someday I'm gonna do a NOS video too, just for, you know, fun and giggles. Okay, so now we've got we're just putting our fairing back on. We've cleaned our air filter. And like I said, if you have the Nibby upgrade, it's very easy to clean that filter. Same thing. You just take it off, and I mean the Nibby filter is right there. You don't have to take any panels off or anything like that. So guys, that's pretty well it for our video. So this is what you would do after your first 500 miles. Something else I'd like you to check, make sure your tire pressure is up to par. You should keep about 30 pounds, give or take, of air in your tires. They are steel belted tires on these. And yeah, so you'd want to keep an eye on your tire pressure. So I'm gonna go put air in it over at the compressor. So do check your tires. That'd be another thing, just to make sure that what your tire levels are at. Other than that, that's it, guys. That would be what you would do when you reach your first 500 miles. This is your first maintenance. Once you get up to 1,000 miles, we'll do another video eventually to show you your 1,000 mile mark. But that's it, guys. So hopefully you guys like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. And like I said, I will include a link to the air filter for this. And you guys have a great day.